Good morning. The next book we're going to read is called Chinatown by William Lowe. Let's first take a look at the front and back cover illustration. Do you notice how the illustration on the front and back cover is one continuous long illustration? William Lowe wrote and illustrated this book titled Chinatown. His illustrations for the book show real places he knows well. So what do you notice? There are many places called Chinatown in different cities around the world. It's usually a large city. It's usually a large city neighborhood where people speak and read Chinese as well as other languages. So let's read to find out more about this Chinatown. Chinatown. So what can you tell about the boy in the window? He's a character in the story. Watch for him throughout the story in that bright blue cap. I live in Chinatown with my mother, father, and grandmother. Our apartment is above the Chinese-American grocery store. Look at the boy with his grandma. This boy tells this story. Look carefully at the building. What do you notice? Did you notice the way the sign is written? Every morning, Grandma and I go for a walk through Chinatown. We hold hands before we cross the street. Watch out for cars, I tell her. Most days, the Tai Chi class has already begun by the time we get to the park. Students, young and old, move in the sunlight like graceful dancers. You may not know what Tai Chi is, but you can look closely and think about what the boy told you. What do you think Tai Chi is? It's a type of meditation, and it involves movement of your body. We always stop and say hello to Mr. Wong, the street cobbler. If our shoes need fixing, Mr. Wong can do the job. Just like new, and at a good price too, says Mr. Wong. A cobbler is somebody who fixes shoes. Chinatown really wakes up when the delivery trucks arrive. Men with handcarts move quickly over the sidewalks and into the stores. So Chinatown gets busy in the morning when the delivery trucks come. Look at the man with the handcart. Right here, the man with the handcart. The word handcart tells you what it is. A handcart is a cart you push with your hands. Why do you think that people need to use a handcart? Every day, Grandma and I walk past the Day Day restaurant. Roasted chicken is my favorite, but Grandma likes duck best. When it gets cold outside and Grandma needs to make medicinal soup, we visit the herbal shop. Inside it is dark and smells musty. The owner, Mr. Chung, is bagging dried roots and herbs. Winter's here, says Grandma. We must get our strength up. So Grandma says we must get our strength up. What do you think she means by that? Sometimes Grandma and I go for lunch at a seafood restaurant. I like to watch the fish swim in the tank. Grandma says you won't find fresher fish than those in Chinatown. The kitchen in the restaurant is a noisy place. Hot oil sizzles, vegetables crackle, and woks clang and bang. The cooks shout to be heard. The wok is a big pan. I wonder what it would be like to cook food in a wok in a busy kitchen all day. At the outdoor market, I can barely move, but we go there because Grandma likes to buy fresh snapping crabs for dinner. When the crabs seem furious, Grandma is pleased. The angrier the crabs, the tastier the meat, she says. Looks like blue crabs, like what we have in our area. On Saturdays, I take lessons at the Kung Fu school. Master Luang teaches us a new move each week. To develop your body and your mind, says Master Luang, you must practice every day. My favorite holiday is the Chinese New Year. During the celebrations, the streets of Chinatown are always crowded. Be sure to stay close by, Grandma says. See if you can spot the little boy. On New Year's Day, the older kids from my Kung Fu school march to the beat of thumping drums. Grandma and I try to find a good place to watch, and I tell her that next year I'll be marching too. Why do you think the boy wants to march in the Chinese New Year's parade next year? Maybe it's a rite of passage from a kid to a teenager. The New Year's Day parade winds noisily through the streets. Look, Grandma, I say, here comes the lion. Firecrackers explode when the lion dance is over. I turn to Grandma, take her hand, and say, Gung Hey Fat Choi, Grandma. She smiles at me. And a Happy New Year to you too. Now, all you guys watching, I want you to say, Gung Hey Fat Choi, Happy New Year. So what did you find out about Chinatown from this story? Who is telling the story in this book? The boy and the grandma seem to care about each other. What are some ways that you could see from the story how they cared about each other? So this book is written by William Lowe. He's the illustrator of Star Gone John by Ellen Kent Mackenzie, Lily by Abigail Thomas, and Good Morning City by Lane Moore. A graduate of the Parsons School of Design and a 4-time winner of the Society of Illustrators Silver Medal, Mr. Lowe now teaches at the School of Visual Arts in New York City, not too far from Chinatown. He lives with his wife, illustrator Margaret Hewitt, on Long Island, New York. So why do you think he wrote a book about Chinatown?